The concept of Saturn as the central sun is rooted in speculative cosmology and mythological interpretations rather than established astronomical science. This idea primarily emerges from ancient myths, esoteric traditions, and the controversial works of certain researchers who propose alternative theories about the solar system's history. Below is an in-depth exploration of this concept, blending mythological, esoteric, and scientific perspectives. The Saturnian cosmology, an overview. Saturnian cosmology suggests that, in a distant epoch, Saturn occupied a central and prominent position in the skies of Earth, functioning as a central sun or dominant celestial body. This theory is tied to the idea that the Earth and other planets were once part of a different planetary system or alignment before settling into the current heliocentric configuration dominated by the Sun. Key proponents: Immanuel Velikovsky, in Worlds in Collision, 1950, Velikovsky proposed that celestial catastrophes dramatically reshaped the solar system. Although not specific to Saturn as the Sun, his ideas influenced later Saturnian theorists. David Talbot and the Thunderbolts Project. Talbot, in works like The Saturn Myth, 1980, suggests that ancient civilizations experienced Saturn as a dominant celestial body. The Thunderbolts Project expands on this by tying it to plasma physics and catastrophic events. Alternative astronomical models. Certain interpretations of catastrophism and plasma cosmology propose that the solar system underwent significant realignments that could have temporarily positioned Saturn in a central role. Mythological and esoteric perspectives. Saturn as the Golden Age sun. In several ancient traditions, Saturn is associated with the Golden Age, a utopian era of peace, prosperity, and harmony. In Roman mythology, Saturn, Cronus in Greek, ruled during this idyllic period before being overthrown by Jupiter, Zeus. This myth is often interpreted as a symbolic reflection of Saturn's displacement from its central role. The Eye of Saturn. Many ancient cultures depicted Saturn as an eye in the sky, possibly linked to its prominent rings or its polar hexagon storm. This imagery appears in Egyptian, Mesopotamian, and Mesoamerican iconography. Saturn and time. Known as the Lord of Time, Saturn's role in esoteric traditions often ties to cycles, karma, and cosmic order. This enduring symbolism may echo a time when Saturn's celestial prominence deeply influenced human perception of natural cycles. Astrological associations. Saturn governs discipline, structure, and limitation in astrology. If ancient civilizations observed it as a central celestial figure, it may have been revered as a cosmic lawgiver or stabilizing force. Scientific plausibility and challenges. The idea of Saturn as Earth's central sun is not supported by conventional astronomy. Saturn is a gas giant, far less massive and luminous than the Sun, and is incapable of sustaining nuclear fusion, the process that powers true stars. However, proponents of the theory argue that celestial configurations and perceptions in the distant past could explain the mythological prominence of Saturn. Plasma cosmology. Some alternative models, such as those supported by the Thunderbolts Project, suggest that electromagnetic forces and plasma interactions in the early solar system could have created a visual illusion of Saturn as a sun. These models often reinterpret ancient texts and images as records of real cosmic events. Orbital alignments. A proposed scenario involves Earth, Mars, and other planets being part of a closer alignment or polar configuration with Saturn. This could have positioned Saturn more prominently in Earth's sky, appearing much larger and brighter. Catastrophism and planetary migration. Theories of planetary migration suggest that the early solar system was far more chaotic, with planets shifting positions before stabilizing in their current orbits. In such a scenario, Saturn might have occupied a closer or more central position temporarily. Cultural evidence of Saturn's prominence. Symbols and imagery. Many ancient cultures, such as the Sumerians, Egyptians, and Mesoamericans, revered a celestial body that modern interpreters identify with Saturn. Symbols like the Ouroboros, serpent eating its tail, and the Wheel of Time are linked to Saturnian imagery. Polar configuration hypothesis. David Talbot's research into the Saturn myth posits that Saturn, Mars, and Venus once appeared aligned in a celestial stack when viewed from Earth. This alignment may have inspired myths of a primordial heavenly throne or central deity. Saturn as the Black Sun. In occult traditions, Saturn is sometimes referred to as the Black Sun, symbolizing hidden power or the unseen force behind visible creation. This esoteric title suggests that Saturn retained a symbolic significance long after its supposed displacement. Spiritual and philosophical implications. Saturn as archetype. In Jungian psychology, Saturn represents the archetype of the wise old man or the shadow. Its centrality in early myths may reflect humanity's deep engagement with cycles of limitation, discipline, and transformation. Karmic influence. Many spiritual traditions associate Saturn with karmic lessons. Its position as the central sun in early cosmology could symbolize humanity's relationship with spiritual growth through challenge and accountability. The fall from the Golden Age. The displacement of Saturn from its central role aligns with myths of a fall from grace or a transition from a golden age to a more chaotic era. This mirrors philosophical narratives of spiritual evolution through struggle and loss. Conclusion. The theory of Saturn as Earth's central sun is a fascinating blend of ancient mythology, speculative science, and esoteric thought. While it lacks empirical support in mainstream astronomy, it highlights humanity's enduring fascination with Saturn as a celestial archetype of order, limitation, and transformation. Whether viewed as a literal celestial event, a mythological memory, or an archetypal symbol, Saturn's central sun role invites reflection on our cosmic origins and the profound ways humans have interpreted the heavens throughout history.